Hi everybody, I'm Kimberly Edwards with cookingwithkimberly.com, and this evening I'm going to show you how to soak beans. Doesn't sound very exciting, but guess what? You're gonna love me for it because you can use beans in so many recipes. It's so much cheaper to make your own beans instead of buying them in the can already made. They're full of preservatives and yucky stuff that you don't want, and they're way more expensive. You can buy the dried beans, you can soak them, or you can just boil them right away, or you can let them soak overnight. And anyway, way cheaper, way healthier for you. There's no preservatives, there's no yucky processing stuff going on at all. These are dried beans straight from the garden, man, and you throw them in and you're gonna soak them. Tomorrow, what I'm going to make is I am going to have red beans and rice, dirty red beans and rice, because I used to live down south in Louisiana and I love it. Dirty red beans and rice and bouche. Do you know what bouche is? I know it sounds kind of gross. It sounds kind of interesting and weird all at the same time and delicious too. Anyways, I'm getting this sausage from a company called Aunt Carla's Bouche, and they're based out of Northwest Ohio in a place called Mommy. So anyways, they're sending me bouche to Canada. That's what's up. And I'm so excited because I can't wait to get my shipment of bouche and try it. Now, bouche is like a sausage, okay? And it's not a typical sausage. They have a special, of course, family recipe, Aunt Carla's recipe. But what I can gather, it has spice or sausage or meat, right? Mixed with rice. So it's kind of like boudin, like down south in Louisiana. Like boudin is a rice sausage, okay? And then it has spices and onions and wonderful things in it. And I can't wait to try it. And it's going to go perfectly with my red beans and rice. But I need red beans made and I don't want to buy them. They're gross spot. So I'm going to do them from dried. And this is why I'm doing this for you. I have about a whole package, a whole bag of red kidney beans. Now, all I've done is I've taken a colander or a strainer. I've put them in there. I've rinsed them off into cold water. I've looked through them to make sure there's no weird looking, nasty beans that were gross, or there's any weird like rocks or sticks or gravel. I mean, that happens, guys. Relax. It happens. But you want to check it because you don't want to mix it all in with everything else and then chew on it, bite, break your tooth or something. Not cool. So you want to check it. That's all. So you rinse it off, cold water. That's it. I'm pouring it into my pot. Okay. Over top of that, I'm pouring cold water just to cover them. Actually, I'm going to fill the pot just so they have a nice amount of water to soak in. Now, I used filtered water. It's just because I have one of those things that come off my tap. You don't have to do that if you don't want to, but if you can, that's great. It's healthier for you. You have less gross germ stuff in there. Can you tell I'm a germaphobe? My goodness. Anyway, inside this goes. You don't want to add any salt because salt can draw moisture out of things, and you want to put moisture into these beans. They're dried. You don't want salt. It just doesn't make sense. And also, and a lot of the cooking shows and channels talk about this as well, that salt can keep them hard much, much longer. So like when you cook the beans, you don't want to put salt in. No salt. And no acid. Don't put any vinegar or lime juice or lemon juice. Just relax. Don't put salt. Put anything. But I'm going to put a little bit of spices that just have a little bit of flavor. Not salt, though. And put some bay leaves so it can just sit here and soak. I'm going to put about a half a teaspoon of red chili flakes. And I'm going to put a couple of peppercorns. Just to let it sit in here, okay? Just to get a little bit more flavor. Now, it's cold in my kitchen. I live in Canada and it's winter, okay? So it's cold in my kitchen at night. And I'm leaving it on my stovetop because it's cold in here. But what you're going to want to do is if your kitchen is warm, you live in Arizona, you guys are so lucky. If you live in Arizona, put this in your fridge and let it soak overnight, okay? Because you want to keep them cool. And that's it. I'm putting a lid on, putting it on my stovetop. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to change the water out, okay? I'm going to rinse all that water out in that strainer again. Put it back into that pot again, put fresh water over top, and then I'm going to boil them. I'm going to simmer them until they're nice and tender, okay? If you soak them overnight, they boil so much faster, they cook so much faster, they're so much tender, so much faster, so many's, if you soak them, okay? If you don't soak them, they're like rock hard, like a pebble, and you're putting them in there and you want to boil them, and it's going to take a couple hours. Okay, easy sometimes. Depends on the size of your bean, okay? If it's a lentil, it doesn't take as long. If you're using black-eyed peas, it doesn't take as long. But if you're using great big beans like navy beans or kidney beans or big pinto beans, it's definitely going to take longer, okay? So just be aware of that. And I can't wait for my red beans and rice and my bouche tomorrow. Aunt Carla's Bouche. Check them out on Facebook. It's facebook.com/AuntCarla'sBouche with a C, Carla. And then their website is AuntCarla'sBouche.com. Tell them Cooking with Kimberly sent you, okay? Hi, everybody. Well, I'm back. It's tomorrow, and I have started my beans on the stove. It's on a rolling simmer, just a light simmer, probably for about the last hour and a half or so. So I let it come up to a simmer. Actually, I boiled it. Then I brought it down to the simmer, and I've just been letting it boil. And I'm just stirring it, like, intermittently, making sure they're not sticking on the bottom. I have it on my gas stove. I have a gas stove, and I have a flat top stove, an electric stove. And for things like this, for soups and stews and for boiling things for long periods of time, you want to use the gas stove because it keeps things from sticking to the bottom so much. It doesn't burn, okay? Anyway, that's why I use this. So there you know why I'm over here a little bit more than usually way back there. So I'm boiling this, it's simmering, and next thing I'm going to do is, I'm going to, first of all, I've already taste tested before I talk to you guys, so I've taste tested. I don't have any seasoning in here except those chili flakes. I have bay leaf, and I have some black peppercorns, and that's it. No salt, no acid, that means no vinegar, no lemon juice, no lime juice. I know it sounds awesome, like a great idea. You're gonna be mad as all heck because those beans will not cook properly. So my bean fell off the counter. Let me taste test it one more time for you to make sure. They're super hot, don't burn yourself. I'm going to use this probably for a chili of some kind with my Aunt Carla's Bouche. So check out Aunt Carla's Bouche. It's AuntCarla'sBouche.com. It's sausage. Okay. Those actually could go a little further. I thought that the other one I tried was all right. This one can go a little longer. So I guess I'm looking at probably about 2 hours to boil these bad boys, okay? And I'm going to finish the video up now so that you guys don't have to come back. Grab a colander or a strainer. Dump them in it when they're done, finally, in the sink, okay? Pick out your bay leaf and stuff like that that you're not going to actually eat. And what you could do is pour it right into your whatever you're cooking or using your beans for. Or if you want to store them, put them in a resealable plastic bag. Lay them on the counter. Organize them so everything's all nice and flat, nice and even. All the air is out of the bag. So you have like a big bag flat full of beans, all flat. And then if you have more bags than that, when I do beans, I like to do like 3 or 4 different kinds of beans. Let me let you in on a secret so that it's like bean day. And I just have them all done. And then I throw them in the bags and I throw them in the freezer and they're ready for whatever. They're ready for like 5, 8, 9, 10 bean chilies and things like that. So I have those beans ready and they stack nicely. So if you have them in those nice big plastic bags, you can see what kind of beans are in there. You can write on what day you did it and they stack nicely on top of each other in your freezer. It's a beautiful thing, like books. You know what I'm saying? So you have a bean book in your freezer. All right, so that's it. So you're gonna strain them and you're gonna use them. Now, don't let your beans go till they're falling apart. Not cool. Mushy, yucky beans, that's what they are. Mushy beans are yucky beans, guys. Don't do that. Keep checking them. You don't want them to go too far. You want them to retain the integrity of the skin around those beans. When they get mushy, those skins burst open and everything busts out. And then they're gross, and then you just have a pile of mush, and then you gotta figure out something really creative to do with mushy beans. Don't come to me, because I don't know what to do with them right now. Alright, everybody, so that's it. That's how you do beans. That's how you soak overnight beans and cook them. And that's simple. Every bean takes a different amount of time. Black beans are smaller than these great big honkin' kidney beans. So when you use black beans, you're not gonna boil them as long. Lentils, they don't boil as long. Chickpeas, actually, they don't boil too long either. But great big beans, they take a long time, so be diligent, be patient. It's all gravy. Make sure that you are keeping enough liquid on top of those beans so that it doesn't evaporate and they start burning and sticking to the bottom and then nothing gets cooked. So keep them topped up with water. And that's it. All right, everybody. Check me out on Twitter at Cooking with Kim E with a capital E. Like me on Facebook. It's facebook.com/cookingwithkimberly. Check out my shows on YouTube. It's youtube.com/cookingwithkimberly. The site is cookingwithkimberly.com. Check out what I'm going to do with this boosh and these beans. You'll see. I'll have to post the recipe for you. All right, everybody. So eat deliciously, be a champion in your kitchen. Make beans. They're cheaper this way. All right. Ciao. Bye.